Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's John. I'm an RV tech. I've been in the industry for a long time. Yesterday, I actually posted my first video, and I had asked Copilot to just give me a random list of the top 5 worst RV brands that were out there. If you guys have watched that, then that's awesome. With it being my first one, I am kind of nervous talking into my camera. I'm trying to work on that. I did mention yesterday in the video that I was going to talk about the warranty process. Over the last several months, I've spoke to a lot of our customers. One of their biggest complaints from our dealership standpoint is that the warranty process takes so long. Spoke to a guy today, and he said that it was crazy that he took like I think like 2 months for us to get the parts in for his toilet valve or something on the back of it. I think I remember doing that job, but it's been a long time ago. He called us back out today because he bought another camper. He's still got the original one that I worked on, but he bought this one and put the other one somewhere else. Anyway, he was just asking me, a lot of different questions about warranties, like how they work. And as I was explaining it to him, I was like, I said, this really does explain a lot more about how long these things really take. So basically, a lot of the RV issues that you guys bring in, if you're within like the first year, maybe sometimes 2 years, as far as your coach goes, your manufacturers give you a warranty, and those will usually cover you for like RV structures, your basic framing, walls, and the part you're pulling with your travel trailer or fifth wheel. Usually anything that's like built or manufacturers installed, your walls, roofs, slide mechanisms, cabinetry, plumbing, wiring, a lot of that stuff is usually within the first couple years. They generally only limit it to things that are like craftsmanship and like major defects in like materials. If it comes out to be too awful big, that's when you'll get the recalls, which I kind of talked about a little bit yesterday too. I think recalls is a good thing. I know a lot of people complain that, I think it was Forest River has a lot of them, but I mean, honestly, man, I don't see where it's such a big deal. I mean, you're not having to pay for it. If they find it before you guys get it, then it's covered. Some brands have really tightened up on, how many things are gonna cover, and they kind of changed the format, or I don't know, maybe even the industry language as far as that goes, as far as like things that they're gonna cover would be a pretty substantial defect that would prevent it from having the use that it's intended for. Slide motors not working properly to let the slide rooms out, things of that effect. Components, I'd say like appliances or systems that are inside the campers, they're generally covered by the companies that made those things. I spoke on that a little bit yesterday too, when I was talking about the Coleman Mach thermostats, and how, like, the Coleman Mach, if you get with them directly, or at least if dealership does directly, they send it out pretty much right away, and they cover it freely. But just some examples of things like appliances when you're talking about that is things like your water heater, your refrigerator, your furnace, ACs, awnings, leveling systems. Let's see, what are other components? Inverters and converters. Those things are usually all covered pretty well through, like the components from the people who manufacture them. The way that it works for us, though, is like, as a dealership, if you guys come in and you tell us what's going on, we diagnose the issues. We try to find out what's going on. We label it as, faulty item, internal faults, created by damage or whatever from a failed component or something on the inside. And then they'll usually cover it, pretty regularly. Now, we do have to stay neutral as a dealership. Like, we can't just side with customers. We can't just side with manufacturers. We just tell them the basic facts of what's going on, and then they make the decision of whether or not they'll cover it or claim it. At our dealership in particular, we don't do a whole lot with like chassis, like your engine side of things. Generally speaking, if you do have warranties on like a motorhome, they'll cover things like your suspension, your brakes, your engine, of course, your transmission. But usually those are provided by like Ford, Mercedes, and Freightliner, so you have to kind of go through your own as far as they go. And I don't know, I guess the next part of the process itself is like after you guys bring it in and we identify what's going on, we write it up, and then we have a particular person in the main office that'll sit down. They go through what we wrote up, and it's almost a copy and paste of what the technician types in, to just send it to them so that they know like nothing's being changed from our warranty writers to tell them anything, outside of what the technician, or it should not be changed by anything from what the technician's telling them. Like I say, we do our best to try to make sure that when we're doing our diagnostic, that we give it to them straight. We tell them, this is water damage, this is, lack of maintenance, this is just a failed component, things like that. But once that dealer or manufacturer, like once they get everything in play, then they'll make the decision of whether or not they'll cover it. Now, I mean, we can't tell you if you bring it to us that we can approve or deny anything, because it's not up to the dealerships. It's honestly up to the manufacturer of the item. And then the manufacturer, if it's a component that they buy from another place, I kind of touched on that a little bit too. If they buy, say an awning motor or an awning arm, or even like the Coleman Mach thermostat, if they buy it from them, then Coleman or whoever is going to send them that money back for, a faulty item, send them the new one, then they have to send it to us. Excuse me. It would go faster if we were able to deal directly with component manufacturers, instead of the actual RV manufacturer. I know it sucks. I mean, I know it's, time wise, it's pretty rough. The approval can take anywhere from, a couple of days to a couple of weeks just for the approval, before we even get, any kind of feedback. And it really all depends on their backlog. I mean, if it's a crazy, long list of people that have, multiple issues, they have to sit there with a handful of people and just go through, and they have to make that conscious decision of whether or not they're going to pay for that part or whatever. And then that's pretty much how the authorization part of it goes. I mean, it's not really up to a dealership that you buy the camper from. It goes, beyond us. It's the manufacturers, and then, like I say, like the component manufacturers that do that. So after they do give us the approvals, then we can actually order the parts. Once we order the parts, the RV Center, like us, we send out the order. They get the confirmation numbers, they get the tracking numbers, they do all that kind of stuff. And honestly, it's one of the longest delays for most things, especially shipping. Like if you damage like the metal on the side of your camper or RV, and then they have to send us, say, like a 12-foot long piece of metal or several pieces of metal. They have to get it, package it into some type of crate or whatever that they usually have to build to that specific order. Then they have to find someone to deliver it to us, because I mean, you can't just send that down to your local UPS necessarily. And then they send it to our manufacturer or our dealership from the manufacturers. And then once we get all that stuff done, everything comes in. We usually call you guys, let you know to bring it in if it's not already there. And then, of course, that's not really a long wait time on that end of it. But I mean, these things can take several months. I mean, it's literally, especially during, 2019, 2020. I mean, you guys know what happened. I guess you're not supposed to say certain, what's the word, pandemic type of thing. You're not supposed to talk about that on this channel, or on this platform. But Anyway, yeah, things took a lot longer during that time frame. I've seen it take several months for us to get just metal parts to come in. It was rough during that, man. It was crazy. Um, I guess the last step after the parts come in and you guys bring it in there to us, we do the repair work and we try to get it completed in a timely fashion. But I mean, how timely is it if it's been several weeks or, whatever to get the approvals and then get the parts ordered and have it shipped and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I mean, that's a very basic breakdown of how the warranty process works. Um, a lot of reasons why they might deny a claim. I would say, like, if the owner caused some damage, like, I don't know, you took a baseball bat to your front door for whatever reason, or you knocked a window out, while you were driving, and whatever. I mean, it could be, you'd be surprised at the crazy things we've seen. They're probably going to deny it if we find reason to believe that was the case. If you don't keep good maintenance records, they could possibly deny you on those. And the best way to really make sure that you have that stuff in order is, if you have your maintenance done by a dealership, and everything is documented very well that it was done there, you can at least have the record from us, and we'll have it on file, usually, through a computer system. So, I mean, we could always pull up your name or your customer number or whatever, however they store you guys in there. And then, then they go through the whole process of, like, making sure that, this happened on this customer's camper. He's brought it in for maintenance on blah, 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 how many ever days, throughout the year or whatever. And then, they won't deny it as fast if you have the records. I'd say another reason why they might deny things would be like, if you've modified something or something was modified by someone that that's not like an authorized type of thing. And when I say that, like, I've actually got one customer, their slide room's a little crooked, and the manufacturer said if you modify the slide room in this way, then we'll cover this and you're good to go. We'll pay for everything. That's a good authorized modification. An unauthorized modification would be like, you went to go install something that doesn't belong on the camper. I don't even know. Like, I don't even know what all kinds of things you could do it. If you stuck, I guess, like a hot rod, anode rod inside of a water heater. I mean, I don't know if you guys even know what that is, but it basically takes away your anode rod and puts in the equivalent of a water heater element inside that hole so that you can use your gas only water heater with electric. And you turn it on and something happens and your tank cracks or whatever, they're not going to cover that because you installed something that's not an approved or authorized modification. Anyway, if you're using a RV for like full-time living and your warranty says that you're not supposed to, if the dealership tells them that that's the case, or we find out that that's the case and decide that that's something that they need to know about, they will deny it. That's no doubt. It's written somewhere inside of your owner's manuals. You usually get like an envelope looking like a bank bag looking envelope inside your camper whenever you first buy a brand new one. There's a lot of paperwork in there. You ever want to sit down and do some really light reading, you can go in there and go check that out. Let's see, other reasons why. If they deny you because you waited way too long to like report some issues, and it caused more problems, that could be something, I guess. And then, I mean, generally speaking, it's like the normal wear and tear things that happen on a camper. Caulking around like your bathroom sink or your kitchen sink, and then your, water gets in around that area where they meet with the countertop. If that thing swells up and, you haven't done the caulking around it or maintained it, then they might deny you on replacing that cabinet. And like I say, with working at a dealership, we have to kind of remain neutral on that, but it is considered still, like a maintenance kind of related item. Seals on the outside of the camper, the roof seals, all that stuff, your slide out and wiper seals on your slide outs, all the bulb seals, all that stuff. I mean, it's all supposed to be maintained, and they do count as like wear and tear type, items. Even the tires on your camper, if you let them go more than 4 to 6 years, I think, without being changed out, not doing proper like wheel bearing packs on your camper, those are going to give you some problems in the long run. You're probably going to get denied on those. Beyond that, I don't know, just things that they don't cover at all. Like, normal wear, water damage from not doing your maintenance. Like I said, if they find out, they won't cover any of it. Upkeep in your sealants, they won't cover it. Like I say, misuse or just, straight neglect. And usually some cosmetic issues, which is very weird, but like if your wallpaper starts to peel off, or like, your seam tape or something like starts to peel off, it is kind of a weird area. Sometimes they'll cover that kind of stuff. They'll send the dealership, if you get it wrote up and you give it to us, we'll get it out there, we'll write it up for them. Sometimes they'll send us a roll and we go out there and go fix it. Sometimes they don't. I mean, it's kind of one of those things where it's, give or take. I don't know. It's kind of up in the air, I guess is the best way to put it. So usually, as far as like the length of time that a warranty is good, I know I kind of said it earlier, but like a coach or a manufacturer's warranty is generally like 1 or 2 years. I'm really not that sure about chassis because we don't do a whole lot of them. I say a whole lot. We don't do any. I mean, that's the best way to put it. Structural warranties, I think I'm seeing up to up to 3 years. I don't think I've seen it much higher than that. Then, of course, I mean, we don't work with all brands all the time, so it's kind of hard for me to remember some of that. But I mean, structural is kind of one thing. I doubt that they'll cover like, your 2015 camper in 2026, but I mean, you could always, see if anybody has anything. And what I say, like appliances and warranty, or components warranties. So usually with the manufacturer, they'll reach out to the components manufacturers, and I think you still kind of get that covered within that 1 or 2 year warranty from the manufacturers itself. And then you can kind of fall into an extended warranty, which is a whole nother ball game. I'd say, probably, well, I don't know. I guess I could talk a little bit about the extended warranty stuff. So as I used to run my own business where I would go and handle things for people as best I could, with the extended warranty programs, those things were really a pain in the butt for, like a one-man show to go in and have all that stuff done. So I would do it for whatever customer called, that day or whatever. I'd have them, like, let's say, replace a toilet. Toilet's leaking around the base. We can't figure out why. Causes a little bit of damage. I go in, I take photos, call the extended warranty company, and then they give me the whole, shebang about, okay, well, we don't cover the travel charges for a mobile RV tech to come out. We don't cover, I don't know, anything over this amount of time that it would take you to get this job done. So with a toilet, let's say if it took me more than an hour, which I have no idea why it would take more than an hour, but if it did, I run into something I just can't quite figure out or break loose or, whatever, they won't cover but, so much time. And then certain ones try to tell you as the mobile tech how much money they'll pay per hour, which is crap. And then they'll cover the cost of the part. And that's the key for a lot of people. One toilet, let's just say one toilet, if we were to look it up online right now, it would probably run you around $300. So your cost as a customer would be the service fee and then your deductible. So me driving out, if I charged you $150 and then your deductible was $50 or whatever, then you're going to pay $200 out of pocket, and then the tech is going to write everything up, get the approvals for the replacement, go to the dealership or wherever you can buy a toilet, bring it back, install it, and then he's going to charge them that amount of time, and they're going to pay for that and the toilet. And you also, as the service tech, you have to pay that facility that you buy it from. You have to pay that out of your pocket. So let's see, what would that end up being? So the tech's going to pay like $300 for the toilet. The company's going to pay the tech back the $300 plus, say, 1 hour of labor. And if I normally charge $150 per hour, and they say, well, we're only going to pay $100 per hour of whatever you do, that's like our max or whatever, then you're losing $50 there as a mobile tech for one. And you just had to pay $300 that you're hoping that they'll give you back. And then, basically you go and get it installed for the customer, and they give you the $50 deductible. Oh, well, I guess the deductible comes out of the deductible comes out of like the labor time. So I guess technically you're getting the $50 as the tech from the customer, but they're only paying you $100 for that hour. So really, I guess the tech would kind of break even in this scenario, which I think I made out pretty good with doing it whenever I did this one particular job where I replaced the toilet. But through service anyway. The hard part for the technician is then how do they pay you? So, you go in and write up, your receipt, your work order receipt, and then you're going to somehow get the customer to sign it, and then you send it to them in an email. They're supposed to either send you a check or send you, I forget how they did that. They'll send you either a check in the mail, or they'll give you like a credit card number through an email, and it's like a one-time use thing, and you get the numbers, you type it in, like an authorization or something, and then it'll download itself into your bank or whatever, like a digital paycheck. It is kind of weird, like on our side of it as a technician side, as a mobile service tech. But it is, it can be frugal. I mean, the same technician, if you were working for a dealership, you get paid by the hour. If they paid you $25 an hour, then you get paid to drive there, do the work, come back, go back again, install everything, but all the rest of that stuff's kind of handled behind the scenes. And of course, the more people that have their hands on that one job, the longer that it takes. So it can be more beneficial to call like a service tech for certain things, like a mobile service tech, or a smaller company for certain things. But like, keeping up with the maintenance records, if you do it yourself and that service tech can come out, they can do your maintenance and give you a handwritten record of that, then, you should be okay getting something covered by warranty. It all depends on how you handle the documentation on that. Anyway, I mean, that's basically how it goes, and that's really the reasons why things can take longer through a dealership than through like a service tech or whatever with his own business, if you called them. But sometimes even then, like with like manufacturer's warranties, when I ran my business, I wouldn't even do them because they were just, it took forever to get paid. You're out running around spending your money to go buy stuff, buy parts, make sure the customer gets taken care of, and then shoot, it might be a couple months before you get paid. So, I mean, it was kind of rough. I did it for a while. I spent a lot more money on gas and upkeep on my vehicles and stuff, and eventually I just felt like I just wasn't making enough money doing it. Didn't really feel like I had as much of a calling in my area And well, I mean, honestly, until I took this job, everybody calls our dealership and asks for the mobile service through them. But I don't know if it's maybe just because I didn't have my name out there well enough or something. I don't know. But anyway, I mean, that's the whole breakdown as far as how the warranty stuff works. I guess if you guys have any more questions about how the warranty process works or anything that I can break down for you, put a comment down in the comment section below, and we'll see what we can come up with as far as getting you guys answered in a timely fashion, hopefully a lot quicker than a warranty, right? All right, well, like and subscribe if you'd like to, and I'll see you later. Good night.